Hello, back again on the Top Recap channel. This time I will tell a movie's entitled The Italian Job. Let's get straight into the storyline. The story begins by showing a group of robbers from America. They are getting ready to carry out the action to commit robbery. This group of robbers is led by an old man named John. They were told that this time they would rob a safe in the house of a conglomerate in Italy. The safe contained hundreds of gold pieces worth millions of dollars. It seems that one of John's men, Steve, has managed to get into the conglomerate's house. Steve then put an explosive device right under the safe that was stored because they intended to blow up the floor of the safe so that the safe would fall down. On the other hand, John and all his men were seen heading to where the safe would fall using his boat. After all the equipment was ready, then they detonated the explosive device, which immediately made the safe fall into the river. John's men, Rob and one of his friends, immediately ran the boat with a fake safe so that all the guards there only focused on chasing Rob and his friend. Luckily, Rob could drop the boats of the guards, who were chasing him one by one. Meanwhile, the original safe apparently sank to the bottom of the river and is now being opened by John, an expert in breaking into safes. After successfully opening the safe, John and all his men immediately took all the gold bars. The next day, John and all his men gathered at the iceberg to celebrate their success. John was seen talking to his subordinate named Charlie. John said he would immediately sell the gold and divide the proceeds equally among all his men. Not long after, John and all his men immediately went to the airport to return to America. But on the way, suddenly, their car was blocked by two other cars. And what was even more surprising was that Steve suddenly pointed his gun at Rob. It turns out that the two cars that confronted them were Steve's men. Steve immediately ordered all his men to move all the gold into his car. Steve even deliberately shot John, which killed him instantly. Rob, who saw this, immediately threw his car into the water to avoid Steve. Steve then bombarded the sinking car with dozens of bullets. When he saw John's body floating, Steve stopped his shots because he thought that all his colleagues were dead. Then, Steve and all his men left while carrying all the gold. Not long after that, Charlie, Rob, and his two colleagues were seen who had survived. They were very sad about John's death. They did not expect Steve, his own partner, to betray them. Then Charlie, Rob, and his two colleagues left for America. 1 year later, we are introduced to a woman named Stella. We are told that Stella is the only daughter of the late John. Stella also has the same skills as John, an expert in breaking into safes, but she uses her skills to help the police, not Rob like her father did. One day, when Stella returned home, Charlie suddenly entered her house. Stella seems to really dislike Charlie because Stella thinks that John's death was due to Charlie always inviting John to rob. Charlie also said the purpose of his arrival was to tell Stella that now they had found Steve's residence, the person who had killed John. Charlie also asks Stella to join his group because Charlie intends to take revenge on Steve. They also plan to take back all the gold that Steve took from them. Unfortunately, Stella refused all of Charlie's requests. In the evening, Stella remembers her father, who had to die at the hands of Steve. Stella finally contacted Charlie and said that she had changed her mind. Now she agreed to Charlie's request, to take revenge on Steve and then take back all the gold that Steve had taken from her father. The next day, Charlie introduced his colleagues to Stella one by one. The first is the great hacker named Lyle. The second is the expert bomb assembler named Left Ear. The last is Rob, who is an expert in fighting and driving. They then immediately set a strategy to launch the action. They finally agreed to take the gold first, and then trap Steve. The scene moves to Steve, who is about to turn on the TV, but unfortunately, the TV looks broken. Steve immediately contacted the repairman to fix his TV. Shortly after that came the repairman, who turned out to be Stella in disguise. It turns out that Steve's TV was deliberately unplugged by Left Ear from the outside, so it would be easy for Stella to get into Steve's house by posing as a TV repairman. In short, Stella managed to get into Steve's house with a hidden camera installed on her shirt. Once inside, Stella immediately pointed the camera right at the gold safe. This was done to see the type of gold storage safe they were after. When she got the footage of the safe, Stella immediately pretended to fix Steve's TV. Meanwhile, outside, Left Ear immediately plugs the TV cable back, making Steve's TV turn on again. Steve, who saw Stella's beauty, became interested in her and invited Stella to dinner tomorrow night. Stella, who did not want to make Steve suspicious, was forced to agree. In the evening, Steve went to the gold shop because he was planning to sell some of his gold bars. The shopkeeper suddenly said that this gold was like the gold belonging to the Italian conglomerate that had been robbed 1 year ago. Hearing this, Steve, who was afraid that everything would be revealed without further ado, immediately killed the shop owner. Steve then took all the shopkeeper's money and left. Not long after that, a man named Mashkov arrived. Mashkov was very surprised to see the shopkeeper dead. We are told that the shopkeeper is Mashkov's younger brother. It turned out that Mashkov was a very cruel chairman of the Russian mafia. The next day, Mashkov, who had seen his brother's murder through CCTV, realized that his brother had been killed by a man who planned to sell Italian gold bars. Mashkov then went to a big man to ask who the person who had Italian gold bars in this city was. The big man replied that only Steve had Italian gold bars in this city. Hearing this, Mashkov devised a plan to capture Steve and avenge his brother's death. The scene returns to Steve, who is having dinner with Stella. While eating, Steve suddenly asked Stella about to whom Stella worked. It turns out that from the beginning, Steve already knew that Stella was John's daughter. When Stella was in trouble, Charlie and the others suddenly appeared and approached Steve. Steve's face looks panicked because he thinks that all his former colleagues have died with John. Rob immediately took Stella away while Charlie would invite Steve to chat in a good way. Charlie asked Steve to return the gold so they wouldn't bother Steve anymore. But Steve refused Charlie's request and said that Charlie was just a loser who could never have the gold. Hearing this, Charlie became angry and immediately hit Steve. The next day, the hacker, Lyle, got information that Steve would move all his gold to Mexico. He immediately told Charlie and all his colleagues. Lyle also said that Steve would transport the gold in an armored truck. Hearing this, Charlie replied that it was better because now we don't have to bother getting into Steve's house. We just need to trap the truck and take all the gold. Charlie also contacted his cousin and asked for help to trap Steve. Long story short, Charlie and Left Ear go to the underground station to set up a bomb that will later be used to trap the truck. Lyle will hack all the red lights and then direct the truck to the street on the floor below, where Charlie has installed the bomb. Meanwhile, we also see Mashkov and all his men now looking for Steve. Back to Charlie and all his colleagues preparing to carry out the action. Rob and Left Ear are tasked with watching Steve's house, while Charlie's cousin will be tasked with disguising himself as a container driver whose car has broken down. Lyle is in charge of organizing traffic and directing the gold-carrying truck to the road near the railroad tracks fitted with bombs, while Charlie and Stella will monitor the gold-carrying truck from a distance. Then, the mission began. Rob told them that there were 3 gold-carrying trucks, which would make it difficult for them to know which truck contained the gold. Charlie then ordered Lyle to look at the truck with the heaviest load, because Charlie was sure that the truck with the heaviest load contained gold. Lyle quickly found the truck with the heaviest load, truck number 128. After learning that the truck contained the gold, they focused only on that one truck. Long story short, Lyle immediately made a mess by hacking the red light, which caused a traffic jam. Then Lyle immediately directed the number 128 truck to the road near the train tracks, and Charlie's cousin was already pretending to bring his container car that was breaking down. Moving on to Steve, who was watching his gold-carrying truck using a helicopter. The pilot says that the road has suddenly become chaotic. Steve also realized that all of this must be Charlie's doing. Back to Charlie, Rob and Stella are heading to the underground station. It seems that Lyle has now managed to take over the train system so that he can stop all trains there. Because of this, Charlie, Rob, and Stella can freely stop on the subway line to wait for the arrival of the gold-carrying truck. Meanwhile, the gold-carrying truck has been spotted and is getting closer to the bomb site. When it arrived at the bomb site, Left Ear immediately detonated the bomb and made the truck fall to the ground. After the gold-carrying truck fell into the subway track, Charlie's cousin immediately closed the pothole with the iron he had prepared in his container car. Moving on to Charlie, who immediately feinted the officer with a smoke bomb. Charlie then immediately ordered Stella to break into the safe in the truck. In short, Stella managed to open the safe and then moved all the Italian gold into her car. Steve realized this and immediately ordered all his men to chase Charlie, Rob, and Stella. The chase was inevitable. Fortunately, Charlie, Rob, and Stella could overthrow all of Steve's men, and then they split up. Meanwhile, Steve, who was in the helicopter, saw Charlie and immediately chased him. After being chased for some time, Steve finally managed to corner Charlie. Luckily, Charlie was able to escape and damage Steve's helicopter. Steve, who did not want to give up so easily, took one of the cars and returned to chase Charlie. Meanwhile, Charlie managed to get to the train car, their final location. Rob, Stella, and all his colleagues are already waiting for Charlie's arrival. After putting all the cars containing gold into the train car, Charlie ordered his cousin to guard the car. Meanwhile, Charlie and all his colleagues will go elsewhere to eliminate traces. It wasn't long before Steve reached the spot. Steve, who knew that all the gold was in the carriage, tried to bribe Charlie's cousin with some money. Tempted with some money, Charlie's cousin finally opened the carriage. But when the carriage was opened, it turned out that Charlie and all his colleagues were there. Charlie deliberately did this just to trap Steve. An angry Steve immediately pointed his gun at Charlie. But suddenly, Mashkov and his men came and immediately arrested Steve. It turns out that Mashkov and Charlie have been working together to catch Steve all this time. Mashkov told Steve that he was the brother of the gold shop owner who was killed by Steve. And now, Mashkov will avenge his brother. Stella, who is still vengeful for her father's death, hits Steve. Not long after, Steve was taken by Mashkov and his men to be executed. At the movie's end, it is shown that Charlie and all his colleagues are celebrating their victory with a toast, and the movie is over. Don't forget to click subscribe, like, and comment.